In this video, I'm going to explain why translation doesn't work when you're learning English. I'm also going to explain what to do in order to start thinking in English and stop translating in your head. I am Kenyan and my native language is Swahili. And as someone who has learned English as a third language and is now speaking it, I can tell you this. Almost everyone relies on translation at the beginning, and that's okay. We all need to start somewhere, right? But as we progress, we can start using better tools, and translation should be a thing of the past, because here's why translating in your head doesn't work. Translation is slowing you back when it actually comes to speaking in English. So when you rely on translation and speaking in English, you don't speak that first, because you first have to think in your native language, translate it to English in your head, and then speak it out. Just imagine how much time it's gonna take you to translate a whole sentence from your native language to English and then speak it out loud. It's gonna take you a long time compared to when you just think in English and speak it out. You're gonna speak faster. Translation doesn't work because it drags and slows you down when speaking in English. The second reason why translation doesn't work when you're learning English is it is not always accurate. See, when you translate a word from your native language to English, the meaning of the word may change, and that is because your native language has a different sentence structure to English. Translating directly from your native language to English may distort the meaning of the word or the sentence that you are saying, and this may cause confusion when you're speaking. And sometimes when you translate directly from your native language to English, the sentence in English may not be correct. It may be incorrect in English, but correct in your native language. Let me just give you an example in Swahili, right? So in Swahili, when you say, tafuta mwalimu akufunze, tafuta mwalimu akufunze, it's correct in Swahili. But when you directly translate it to English, it is, find teacher teach you, which is somehow incorrect in English, because the correct way to say it, find a teacher to teach you. So you get what I'm saying. The word arrangement of my native language and English is different. The third reason why translating in your head does not work is because translating in your head prevents you from thinking in English or stops you from thinking in English. And that's because you are thinking in your native language first, translating it, and then speaking it in English. It immediately stops you from thinking in English, and that is not the goal. The goal for you is to think in English and not your native language. The fourth reason why translating in your head is not working is because translation blocks you from fluency, and that's because you will be stuck in your native language. You will be stuck thinking in your native language, and you will not be thinking in English, which is the goal. It therefore stops you from becoming fluent in English. If you are not thinking in English, then your chances of being fluent in English is less compared to when you start thinking in English. When you start thinking in English, things get easier, even if you feel like they don't. Because when you start thinking in English, you start speaking faster in English. You start speaking more clear in English. You become easy to understand because there's no confusion from your native language. And when you think in English, you sound more natural. So here are the three most important things that you can do to help you start thinking in English and stop translating in your head. The first most important thing that you can do is to find an English teacher to teach you English. But because you know that most people living in non-speaking countries cannot afford English teachers, like I couldn't afford an English teacher. So here is what you can do if you cannot afford an English teacher. But if you can afford an English teacher, just do it. Get an English teacher to help you. But if you cannot afford an English teacher, here's what you do. Go to YouTube, find an English teacher on YouTube. Learning from YouTube is free. Have you ever heard of YouTube University? Watch every video and learn the tips and the tricks that will help you learn English and how to think in English. That is the first spot to start if you cannot afford an English teacher. The second thing you can do if you cannot afford an English teacher, which I mostly use when learning English, is to listen to English vlogs. I listen to a lot of English vlogs, and that I can tell has helped me improve my English a lot. And that's because vlogs are natural, so you get to hear how people speak naturally. You get to listen to the raw version of English on a day-to-day live, and through that you can learn a lot of English phrases that you can use in similar situations in your life. Phrases like, oh my god, really? Did you just do that? I didn't see that coming. Are you for real? So a lot of the phrases that I learn in vlogs, I use them in future conversations in English. So it helps me just talk a vocabulary of English in my head, so I don't really have to think much because I already have a stack of English vocabulary in my head. So I don't really have to think in my native language because English is already installed in my head, which makes it easier to think in English and speak. The second thing you can do is to pretend that you are an English speaker, and I do this a lot, especially when doing your daily activities. Let's say you are cooking, you are in the kitchen and you're cooking. Pretend that you're an English speaker and start speaking in English. Use basic English. Let's say you are making a cake. Some of the conversations you can have while making a cake are, so what type of cake am I making? I am making a vanilla cake, or I am making a chocolate cake. What do I need for a chocolate cake? Or what do I need for a vanilla cake? I need some eggs, I need some flour, I need some water, I need some oil. So what do I do first when making a cake? I mixed every ingredient, mix them properly until it's smooth, oil my pan, and then pour the mixture into my pan and put it in the oven and wait for it to bake. Those are some of the conversations that you can have while doing your daily activities. Let's say you're just cleaning your home or just arranging your drawers. You can say, where do I put my white cloth? Where do I put my black cloth? Where do I put my socks? That is how you learn how to think in English, by starting from the basic simple stuff that you already know. So from today, start feeling like you are an English speaker and just start having these mini monologues with yourself in English, and just be natural, feel natural, and just act like you are an English speaker. And that will help you a lot when it comes to thinking in English. You will get used to speaking in English. It will become more obvious to you and more common to you. You won't find it weird to speak in English. The third thing you can do to help you start thinking in English is to describe everything you forget in English. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start describing every word you forget in English. If you're talking and you forget the word challenge, instead of freezing and just starting there panicking or just starting to think in your native language again, all you can do is to describe the word challenge. You can say something, it was not easy. It was not easy, but it was difficult. All those words still mean challenging, so you don't have to panic. That is also a trick that you can use to start thinking in English. Let's say you forget a word like theater, or you forget a word like zoo. You can say, that place where we go to visit animals. That place where animals are kept, where we go to visit animals. At the zoo or at the park. Or a place where we go to watch movies and we have like these popcorns. It's a theater, a movie theater. Don't worry about using basic words because people don't really care about your complex vocabulary or your complex English. People just want to communicate with you. They want to know what you're saying. They want to talk to you. They want you to talk to them. They don't really care about your complex vocabulary. They just want to communicate. So don't be scared of using basic words when talking in English. Just describe what you forget. Describe it in English. If you forget it, describe it. Even words as simple as spoon. A metallic thing with a round head and a tail that we used to eat. That's a spoon. Instead of just stopping and panicking or just freezing or just going back to thinking in your native language, why don't you just describe what you are talking about in English when you forget that word? I really hope these 3 tips were helpful and will help you start thinking in English. And I promise you that if you implement these tips correctly, you will find yourself thinking in English without even noticing. With that being said, let's catch up in my next video. Bye bye.